Hi, I'm Becca, and this is my husband, Gabe.
That's me.
Welcome to the podcast celebrating Jack Russell Terrier dogs.
And all the joys of companionship with canines of every kind.
Each week, we'll explore all the heartfelt, humbling, and hilarious stories that only dog parents can truly relate to. We're Jack Russell parents.
Hey, puppy parents.
How are you and your fuzzy babies doing?
We are great. Loving life. Though I'm not loving how if we want to have a barbecue, I have to exit through the garage, walk around the house, through the locked side gate, and into the backyard before I can get to the grill. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, so Carson gets a little bit above threshold, if you will, when it comes to the barbecue. I'm not sure whether it's the raw meat or the smell of it cooking.
I don't know either.
He just kind of loses his mind a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And he just barks and barks. So we're trying to show some grace and get him to calm down when the grill is out.
We're trying, and he'll get there eventually. I mean, it's worth the trouble to eat some good barbecue, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a prize to a crazy game show that I didn't volunteer for.
I know it's perilous. But he's a good boy. He's just a shameless carnivore. That's all.
Yeah.
So speaking of game shows, we have a fun treat for you all today. We're bringing you a spoken word listicle of the top 4 game shows easy for JRTs to win.
There's game shows for Jack Russell Terriers?
Well, not really. Although there probably should be. This is a list of human game shows that, if dogs competed against each other in these formats, Jack Russells would just dominate. I mean, I'm just saying. Sorry.
Okay, I think I understand.
So we'll take turns reading each of the 5 show descriptions from fandom.com, and then the other person can explain how JRTs would easily win.
That sounds great.
Okay. At number 4, we have Floor is Lava. Did you play that as a kid?
Carson and I played that last night when you were doing your bedtime routine.
Stop. I could see that.
He would play it.
Yeah. Floor is Lava is based on a children's game of the same name. Contestants navigate through an obstacle course in a room that's filled with 80,000 gallons of water, backlit with red lights, simulating the lava.
Yeah.
Winners receive a $10,000 cash prize, along with a trophy in the form of, ironically enough, a lava lamp.
Yeah, I binged that show when it first dropped on Netflix.
I remember.
You were never in the room. Besides needing incredible agility and jumping ability, both JRT traits, what really made Floor is Lava interesting is that you had to solve puzzles and strategize on top of that. And as all Jack Russell parents know, JRTs are incredibly intelligent, problem-solving intelligent. That's why Jack Russells would win Floor is Lava. They got brawn and brains.
I concur.
So you concur?
I do.
All right, so at number 3, we have a similar game show, Wipeout.
Oh, my favorite.
I know. It's an enigma why you love that show so much. Wipeout is a show where people go through an obstacle course of physical challenges without falling off or wiping out. Players can win $50,000 if they can overcome the tough obstacle courses.
Yeah, I don't know. It just cracks me up. I mean, it's so funny to see people smacked by the padded objects and, they just fall into the water. I mean, I hope they're not really hurt, but it's just something about it, man. They go flying through the air.
I don't think they get hurt for the most part, but it looks like it really hurts.
So I don't know why that's so funny to me. It just is. And for our list, the same reasons apply. JRTs are incredibly agile and adept at jumping. Additionally, they have great speed and balance with the super low center of gravity, right? And because they're small, many of the knockout obstacles would simply go right over their heads, right? That's how they'd win. So that's why a Jack Russell would win a Wipeout.
All right. Nice, solid arguments.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 on the list is Survivor. Survivor is a popular reality show on CBS where several people are taken to some remote part of the world and have to compete in an elimination match in order to win the title of Survivor. After being split into tribes, the castaways must survive the elements and team challenges in order to outwit, outplay, and outlast each other for a $1 million prize.
There's so much strategy and skills required to win Survivor. So besides Jack Russell's being strong, witty, athletic, Jerts are fearless. They're
Right.
natural-born leaders. And perhaps most importantly in the game like this, they're, well, one, super manipulative. While two, they're often underestimated due to their size, right?
Right.
And the part where it says outplay and outlast each other,
Yeah.
I feel like Carson outlast us in everything. All those things would help a JRT coast under the radar, be a covert threat, and snatch the win.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Now go get that $1 million, Carson.
Yeah, right. Come on, baby.
Daddy needs to retire.
Now, rounding out the list of the top 4 game shows easy for JRTs to win, taking the number 1 slot with a kiss and a wink, we have Love Connection.
Yes, that tracks.
Absolutely. Love Connection was an American television reality hybrid game show where singles chose between 3 other contestants for who they'd like to go on a first date with. According to the old intro, it says, sometimes our dates have a happy ending and some other times there's just an ending. But it's always unpredictable when 2 strangers meet trying to make that love connection.
Super old school. Nice.
Mhm.
YouTube has some choice clips. Oh my God.
Cool.
The hair and the mustaches.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh, that's
dude.
great. So can I do the explanation of why a JRT would win as well for
Of
this
course.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Well, above all their obvious traits, athleticism, cunningness, energeticness, Jack Russell Terriers are above all else lovable, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Their innumerable strengths combine into the most irresistible package imaginable. Anyone who has had any sort of contact with a Jack knows that it's impossible to not make a love connection.
Agreed. They're so charming, you immediately forget about all the difficulties.
Right. Yeah, you do. So that's it. The top 4 game shows easy for JRTs to win. But don't go away. After this short commercial break, we'll return with an adorable and unmissable puppy parent showcase.
"11-year-old Walter just may die of boredom doing the most boring summer ever. While exploring an abandoned garden, Walter discovers a mystical elf world where all dead plants spring to life at his touch. The downtrodden elves think Walter is there to save them with his new life-giving powers, to defeat the wicked Ichabod van Snothook before he sucks everyone's joy dry with his never-ending list of rules. Walter will need to use his best power yet, his imagination. In a dying, oppressed world, one boy has the power to bring freedom and life. Walter Plume and the Dehydrated Imagination will take you and your middle grade reader on a thrilling journey while igniting the depths of your imagination. Boys the Book says, beautiful imagery leads to spectacular world building in this fantasy that will leave the young reader glued to the pages. Relatable characters add to the magic of the story with never a dull moment. Get your magical fingers on a copy of Walter Plume and the Dehydrated Imagination by Rebecca Lynn Morales, now at Amazon.com. Find out more at walterplume.com. Let Walter and his story awaken your beautiful and creative imagination.
We're back with a special puppy parent showcase from our friend Amanda. Check it out.
Hello, my name's Amanda Lockhart, and I am in love with Saxon. He's our puppy of 11 months, although he's already over 50 pounds, but he's just so playful and so loving, and of course, extremely smart. He's actually the son of our daughter's Australian Shepherd, Severo. Severo is a red merle, and Saxon is a blue merle. We took Saxon when he was only 8 months old on a road trip to Texas. We drove from California to Tyler, Texas to visit my father, who sadly was ill. Saxon was an absolute joy. He never fussed, and as long as we stopped regularly, he was perfectly fine. And he was the highlight of our trip. He's extremely playful and very vocal, and he puts himself to bed. At 7 months, he started to fuss and cry and limp occasionally. We took him to the vet to be told that he has growing pains and that hopefully by a year to 18 months, he should grow out of it. But it was so sad to see him in pain and not be able to do anything for him other than give him the pain meds the doctors gave. But I didn't know dogs got growing pains.
Amanda, I love that you took Saxon on a road trip, especially to Texas. And it's so cute that he puts himself to sleep. Carson does that too. I love that they know themselves enough to just do that. And I did not know that dogs had growing pains either. Did you know that, Gabe?
I did not.
Thank you for sharing that, because that's really good to know for those who have puppies or have just gotten a puppy and they're watching them grow and then maybe their behavior changes and maybe that could be what it is. So thank you so much for sharing, Amanda. We loved hearing about Saxon.
You can follow Saxon the Australian Shepherd on Instagram at Saxon Son of Severo. That's Saxon Son of Sevro.
And we'd love to hear from you too. So go to jackrussellparents.com/showcase. Click the big red button to share your voice and stories of your pups with our audience. So whether it's on a deserted island, a silly obstacle course, or in front of an 80s clad studio audience, Jack Russell Terriers are sure to emerge victorious with the greatest prize of all, your heart. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you learn from the content? Or did you just have a good, relatable laugh? Well, now what? It's time to subscribe, follow, keep listening, and give a positive review on the Apple Podcast app. Then share the podcast with other puppy parents. This will allow us to connect you and your friends with fun, dog-loving content week after week. Until next time, this is Becca and Gabe, the Jack Russell Parents.
Say bye, Carson.
We'd love to connect with you online at jackrussellparents.com or on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at JRT Podcasts. That's at JRT for Jack Russell Terrier Podcast.
The Jack Russell Parents Podcast is produced by Earball Audio.
Jack Russell Parents is brought to you in part by Super Chewer. From the makers of BarkBox, Super Chewer is a themed monthly delivery of toys and treats made especially for dogs who play harder and demand a challenge. Simply go to jackrussellparents.com and click the Super Chewer link to enjoy their great offers while also supporting our podcast.